money. Oh, this is young.
Hey all, my name is Luke. I make bags from high performance materials that would otherwise be discarded, and today I wanted to talk about this new U-zip duffel and the 20-liter single layer pack, this time both made out of Dyneema. So I've got a Dyneema duffel, Dyneema backpack, and they both have Cuben fiber on the inside. What's the difference between Dyneema and Cuben fiber, you might ask? Great question. I'm not a materials scientist or a chemist or the biggest of nerds about this stuff, but I do know that they're both ultra high molecular weight polyethylenes, which means they're really dense, really strong, and also really lightweight plastics, basically. So this stuff is hydrophobic as a fiber. It's 10 times stronger than steel for its weight. Big caveat there. But basically it means that this stuff will outlast us all, for better or for worse. And these bags are made from it. So I've got a nylon sandwich Dyneema on the bottom panel here so that it's not going to show as much dirt, but it's really kind of stiff stuff, so it's better used for bottom panel. And then on the 20 liter, single layer pack, I've got a foam pad in the back here. And on this particular one, I did use Dyneema as the cinch fabric. I'm going to make that an option for this little travel set right here, which I'm going to call the Dyneema Ultralight Travel Set, because it's very light, very strong, and extremely durable. And another thing about Dyneema, Spectra, Cuben fiber is that it's very UV stable. So if you leave it out in the sun for a super long time, it's not going to change color. It's not going to degrade nearly as fast as like a nylon would, right? So here's the 20-liter single layer pack, which has an interior zippered pocket and an interior drop pocket, as well as a little loop for hanging a hydration bladder. And on the back, I've got these little loops, which will allow the user to take the straps off of the duffel, just these little carabiners here, unclip the carabiners, clip them onto your backpack. So that way you only need one set of straps. You can really do a lot of traveling and a lot of efficient moving around with just these two bags that weigh very little for what you're getting. So let me just open up this U-zip duffel here to show you what the inside looks like. So I did end up using Cuben fiber on the inside of here because the abrasion resistance is not quite as high on this stuff because it doesn't have a woven face on it. But still you get the advantages of having a dual layer bag, so you can really stuff it full and it doesn't really show how full it is that way. So we got a grab handle on either side, an exterior zippered pocket here with a nice little zipper garage there. These matte black zipper pulls that are kind of a limited thing for me. I don't have that many of them. And yeah, this nice webbing that makes for a good grab handle on each side. And then as you can see, really easy to get in and out of these U-zip duffels, which is nice. And they're not seam sealed like the drop liner duffel, which means I can make them a little quicker and pass on some cost savings to y'all. And like I said, the bottom panel is made out of this nylon sandwich Dyneema. So there's nylon, Dyneema, nylon. And the bottom panel goes up a little bit on the sides here so that the abrasion is really going to hit this bottom panel as opposed to the side panels there. So yeah, that's this little ultralight Dyneema travel set. Like I said, I'll get an accurate weight on the website here in a minute, but I just got these off the sewing machines, and really handy, really useful. And like I said, you get to where you're going, to your hotel or Airbnb or whatever, clip these straps off of your duffel, leave this there, clip it onto your backpack, and boom, you've got yourself a little day pack and only one set of straps. So, because if you are using them both at the same time, you can clip one off, clip the, one on each, and then you can kind of carry one on each shoulder, or stuff this thing inside here and then pack all your stuff in there, and then once you get where you're going, you can take this back out and use it. And I think the one option that I'm going to add for this combination, this little travel set, is this cinch can either be made from this white Dyneema right here or from the standard black ripstop nylon that I use as the cinch on all my other bags. The advantage of that is that it's a little easier to compress, and thus when you ream on it here, you can really get it pretty well tight, but there is still a tiny little opening here, so if you're concerned about water getting in there, I would go with the black nylon ripstop because it does cinch down a little easier, and it cinches down so that there's really no opening there if you cinch it down tight and you get this pop lock on there. So that's the Dyneema Ultralight Travel Set. which includes this duffel bag and this 20-liter single layer. And I think I am going to be making a 35-liter version of this if you want something a little bigger, but if you're into the Dyneema and the ultralight stuff, this is probably just about the right size for you, and as you can see, fits in there real nice. So compacts down, and just before I finish up the video, I'll show y'all YKK Eurotech matte black zippers on the external pocket and on the main opening, and like I said, these carabiners so you can clip on the top and the bottom. So that's what I'm using now for all these duffels, just to make sure that it doesn't come unclipped on use. And this is not seam sealed, but it's still, you know, it's pretty, takes a little bit of pressure to like push all the air out of it. There we go. And then as you can see, it can be packed down pretty small. Both of these things made by yours truly here in the shop, cut, sewn, shipped, everything. So when you buy from Truce, you're supporting a small business, and I really appreciate that. So thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next time.